Is China more interested in economic or military dominance? Their extensive interests in the Middle East seem to be entirely economic. Oriana, you want to tackle that?
Sure. I think it depends on the region. I think the questioner is correct that when it comes to the Middle East, Europe, Africa, Latin America, their interests are mainly economic. And not in many cases, though, economic interests do lead to a desire for military dominance, because historically great powers have wanted, through gunboat diplomacy and other things, to ensure that their economic and commercial interests are protected. There are, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of Chinese at any point in time that are traveling overseas. I think it's telling that until recently, the most popular box office hit in China was the movie Wolf Warrior 2, which Wolf Warrior Diplomacy is named after, which is about a Chinese former special ops officer going to protect Chinese nationals overseas. And so I think people worry about the tendency of the military following those commercial interests. But to date, China sees the use of military instruments to protect their commercial interests as very ineffective, as the primary reason for the U.S. decline. And so they like to rely more on local law enforcement authorities and basically being friends with whoever's in power. So not choosing sides, even, as much during civil conflicts, not to alienate anyone, to protect their interests. Is that sustainable? I don't know. But for the meantime, they want to have political and economic veto power in the rest of the world, but not military dominance. Now, in Asia, however, and to be fair, what Asia means has expanded from leader to leader. So it used to be that China just needed to dominate Northeast Asia militarily, sort of Korea's, Japan. Then it expanded to the South China Sea, Southeast Asia, and then under Xi Jinping expanded also to Central Asia. So now Asia is a very big concept. But in that area, Chinese thinkers, strategists are very clear. They need to have military dominance, and they need the United States. And part of that means that the United States military has to go. Now, people have different views of how possible that is, right? That means the United States would have to abrogate its alliances with Japan and South Korea. That's not very likely. Though during the Trump administration, when Trump himself would say things like he wanted to pull troops out of Korea, the Chinese got very giddy thinking, maybe this is more possible than not. But at the very least, a lot of what China is doing in terms of its aggressiveness is trying to reduce the frequency of U.S. military operations in its vicinity so that it can have a military upper hand. And so, yes, in Asia, it is military dominance. I would say outside of Asia, it's not really that military and focused, but they could always be driven in that direction.